I'm Kevin Morlock from Indigo Guide Service. We guide on the Pere Marquette for salmon, steelhead, and trout. And then in June and July, we guide on Beaver Island for carp and smallmouth bass. This was my best carp pattern in 2011, the Taylor teaser. And I'll go through the materials of how to tie that. R74 in size 4. Lead eyes. I use yellow. Red would be nice too. Medium, small, extra small, large, whatever you need the job to do. 0.025 lead wire. As many wraps as you need. For this one, Enrico fibers in Everglade. Orange crystal flash. Root beer Estes. Brown juicy legs. Orange Estes to finish. Okay, just because it seems so strange, Sweet Chili Martinez is in Chicago for the show for the weekend, and he came down with a wicked abscess tooth. And he is sawing logs on the couch, and we didn't have the heart to wake him up before we did this. So if you hear snoring, that's what it is. Okay, I'm going to attach the lead eyes. A lot of people get persnickety about getting them level right off. Just lay them in there along the hook. A couple of wraps, let them go the way they want to. Twist them back, and those wraps across will balance that out. And I usually do about 6 or 5 a side, and then I go like this, and that really tightens it up. Couple on each side again. Tighten them up. One more time. And tighten it up. Go back to the bend of the hook. Let that hang out there. And the amount of lead I'm using here, these are medium eyes, but I would tie extra small on here. I mean, I'm gonna have different weighted ones for different things. This one's got medium lead eyes, you know, about 10 wraps of 0.025 lead there. So it's gonna be a pretty heavy one when it's done. But I would also tie this pattern heavier and lighter. I don't know if I'm gonna be fishing to fish that are 8 foot down or 4 foot down. Go back over this lead wire a couple of times. I just don't want a fly that's going to spin on me. So I do a step here, and I'm going to go right up front, and I'm going to finish that, tie that fly off and cut it. Now I'm going to glue it. And what I do, so there's no waiting around, is I'm going to coat that lead wire, and I'm going to get those lead eyes nice and glued up. Pop that out. Lay it off to the side. And then tie up another one the same way, which I've already done. Now you didn't waste any time. By the time you do that step on the second one, the first one's already dry. So you just do 2 at a time. Get your lead started again. Now everything's just really grippy. Your thread moves along there quick. Perfect. A light pinch of Enrico fibers. Tie them in longer if you want. I mean, they're cheap. And then you can just eyeball and cut them to length. And I cut them at a diagonal to give it a little bit of a taper, though it looks kind of clunky. It looks good in the water that way. Now I'm going to tie on the flash. Cut out half as much as you want and longer than you want. Lay it in about the length of that tail. couple of wraps in there, then fold it over and you got how much you want. And those won't pull out now. Cut to length. Now my body. Root beer Estes for this fly. I tie this fly in a couple of different colors. This is my favorite though. I suppose most people do this, but I leave the Estes on the card or in the packet, and then I don't have all those little scraps. But I see some people that don't do that. Now we're going to do our rubber legs. 4 strands all at once. Lay them in straight across the back, and you just want to lightly go over them with that thread and fix them with each wrap. I go over them a couple of times one way, and if they kink, just back off and start over again. I want them to come straight out the sides. Perfect. As you get a few more of these loose wraps, then you can start to cinch down. If they kink out, then back up a one. Now I'm going pretty tight on the thread. We got it. They're coming straight out the side. Perfect. Bring them up and trim them to length. I tie some of them pretty big, and some of them I leave shorter. But if you don't cut them right now, then they just get in the way for the next step, which is kind of a pain anyways. Keep your thread back behind them. And this is the one pain in the butt with this fly pattern, but it isn't too bad. Start your next one, and this is orange Estes. Now we're going to weave this orange Estes through those rubber legs. And rubber legs being rubber legs are going to fight you the whole way. And if it kinks your rubber legs, then back up and redo it. Because I want them to just lay out to the side like wings. I don't want them to go crazy one way or the other. That's a completed tailor teaser.